Hey everyone, Harris O'Malley from DrNerdLove.com, brought to you by my generous patrons at Patreon.com. And today we are talking about one of the most painful and most misunderstood parts of a relationship: how to recover from a breakup. Breakups can be incredibly frustrating. They almost always feel like something that other people are able to handle with ease, while you're stuck trying to feel like a human again instead of 10 pounds of in a 5-pound sack. Worse, while you're struggling with the complicated feelings that come with the end of a relationship, even one that needed to end, it often feels like your ex didn't just get over you, they vaulted past you. Now you're left wondering why they found it so easy to replace you while you're in the process of trying to sweep up the pieces of your shattered ego. The reason why you're having such a hard time getting over your ex is because you, like many people, have the wrong idea about breakups and how to get over them. The pain of a breakup is equal parts mental and physical. When you're struggling with how to recover from a breakup, you're almost never handling both halves of the equation. If you're focusing on the painful emotions that come with a breakup, you're often neglecting the physical aspects, which can just make things more painful. Meanwhile, treating just the physical side of things often masks the emotional issues, and as a result, you often get blindsided by feels that you weren't aware of. One of the reasons why you may find yourself in a rebound relationship. Getting over your ex quickly and successfully requires that you address both sides of the breakup. So today I want to give you the 5 things that you must do in order to get over your breakup, find healing, and move forward. Step number 1, feel the out of your feels. One of the first mistakes people make in the aftermath of a breakup is that they try to be the bigger person, or they want to try to be mature about it. In theory, this seems like a good idea. Hey, relationships end, it sucks, there's nothing to be done but try to move on. In practice, trying to be the bigger person often means trying to pretend that you're not miserable, or that you're not furious, or that you don't want to just get in their face and scream until their head turns inside out from the force of your righteous rage. But trying to push those feelings away doesn't actually work. All you're doing is just squeezing them down, compressing them, trying to contain them, which only makes them more intense and volatile. It is the emotional equivalent of an oxygen tank, which more or less guarantees that you're also going to end up with the emotional equivalent of the end of Jaws. Smile, you son of a bitch, indeed. Trying to pretend that you're not feeling what you're feeling, or worse, trying to force yourself to not feel it, only serves to prevent you from getting the catharsis you need. There is nothing mature or productive about trying to force those feelings away. It just prolongs the misery because you're spending time and energy trying to not feel things instead of actually going through them. Your relationship ended. Even if it is one that needed to end, that is a thing to be sad about. It is worth mourning. It is worth being angry about it. You're hurt, so let yourself feel hurt. Recognizing that your feelings, that anger, that hurt, that frustration are real and valid and legitimate is important. Even if you think that you shouldn't be this upset or that you're not allowed to be, you need to do yourself the favor of acknowledging that you feel the way that you feel and those feelings are valid. Trying to pretend that there is some logical limit to what you're supposed to feel simply isn't helpful. But at the same time, the answer isn't wallowing either. Wallowing also just prolongs things. It reinforces the way that you self-identify as them's as what got dumped. In its own way, wallowing is a form of self-indulgence, a demand that people witness your tragedy beyond a point that's reasonable. Instead of trying to avoid these feelings or force them aside, or just soak in them like a hot bath of bleach, you need to find some way to put those feelings to positive use. Which incidentally brings us to the next step. Step number 2, use that pain. Feeling the out of your feels is only part of the answer. That pain, anger, and frustration that you're feeling, they're not just emotions, they're fuel. Rather than sitting around feeling sorry for yourself, you should take those feelings and use them to motivate you and energize you to make positive changes in your life. And that can be anything from getting off your ass and tackling some project you've been putting off, to picking up a hobby, or pursuing an interest that you've been thinking about, but you haven't quite been able to bring yourself to pull the trigger on. But what I suggest, especially in the early days, when it's all freshest and the pain is at its most acute, is to get back to your body. Using those emotions to fuel yourself physically is one of the best ways to power through the pain of an ugly breakup. Exercise and physical activity is not necessarily a cure-all, but a way of helping push through the worst moments and making it through to the other side. And that activity can be pretty much anything: weightlifting, dancing, running, martial arts, boxing. Build something, clear some brush, help your friends move, do some yard work. Anything that gets you up and moving and expending that energy. Our bodies were designed to move. Doing the things that get us up and moving, that excite our cardiovascular system and get more oxygen into our bloodstream, helps produce endorphins and makes us feel good. But there are benefits to physical exertion beyond endorphins when you're trying to get over a breakup. To start with, movement and exercise help you get out of your head and more into your body. You're able to get lost in the burn of your muscles and the effort of the work. Think of it like a sort of moving meditation, allowing you to just be in that moment instead of either relitigating your relationship or trying to puzzle out your future. And honestly, anger and sadness take energy to maintain. It's hard to stay miserable when you're exhausted. Applying that energy elsewhere can help numb the pain that you would be feeling otherwise, simply because you just don't have the energy to feel it. Just as importantly, though, is that exercise and exertion are an unambiguous good. You are doing something that's beneficial for you, which can help overcome that sense of self-loathing that so often comes with a breakup. One of the issues with, say, turning to comfort food is that it can quickly go from being a source of consolation and become a sort of punishment, especially if you're eating fast food or junk. It is amazing how quickly you can go from, okay, this makes me feel better, to, okay, well, I'm an unlovable piece of so I may as well eat like the trash goblin I am, which then just makes you feel worse and prolongs the misery. Doing something good for yourself, on the other hand, helps reaffirm that you're a good person, someone who deserves good things and believes that taking care of themselves is important. And if it gets you into post-breakup revenge shape, well, that's just a bonus. Step 3, reconnect with yourself. One of the reasons why breakups hurt so much is because of how much relationships change us as people. When you're in a relationship, you and your partner aren't just two individuals, you're also a gestalt entity, a fleshy Voltron, if you will. You reshape your life and your habits around having someone else being part of it. You develop new and different daily patterns that are predicated on having that other person in your life. When you break up with them, it's a lot like losing a limb. You have to learn how to live without it. Or in this case, relearn. You have all of these little habits and behaviors that have to be unlearned, little changes in your life that you've taken for granted up until now. Those habits and patterns can haunt you like ghosts and crop up when you least expect it. You'll start to go through the motions of your life with your ex and do little things that you used to do while you were with her, or have little things occur like the way that your text autocomplete to their name, and it just triggers the pain of that loss all over again. That's why if you want to recover from a breakup, you want to treat it like you're rebuilding your life. You are, in a very real way, relearning how to be single. But the way that you think about it is important. You want to treat this like you're building new habits, becoming a new person rather than trying to return to who you were beforehand. After all, you've learned new and different things about yourself while you were with your partner. You want to take those lessons and apply them to your new life instead of trying to regress or pretend that your relationship didn't happen. Take the approach that you're discovering who you are now and learning how to be this new person, developing new patterns and habits instead of pretending that the last however long you were with them just never occurred. It just got Thanos snapped out of existence. These are new sides of yourself, new patterns to bring to your life, and new habits to adopt. You can't go back to who you were before, so look to the future instead. And while we're talking about looking back, step number 4, take the nuclear option. One of the most necessary steps to recover from a breakup is often the hardest. You need to cut off your ex. I know that there is always that desire to try to be friends in the wake of a breakup, or, let's be honest, the hope that you might be able to get them back. But here's the thing. Even if there is a chance that you and your ex can get back together, none of that can happen until you've healed. And you can't heal if you're constantly reopening that wound. Straight talk. All those little things that you do, whether it's checking their Facebook, going through their latest photos on their Instagram, following their Snapchat, these are all just ways of picking at the scab. At best, you're just constantly reminding yourself that you're not with them anymore. At worst, you're checking to see if they've moved on yet. And I am here from the future to tell you, they will always move on and start dating again before you're ready, and it will always hurt if you keep checking. So you need to spare yourself the pain and eliminate the temptation by cutting them out entirely. Delete their phone number, archive their texts and emails, unfriend and unfollow them on all the social media you have. And if you can't bring yourself to do it, have a friend do it for you. I realize this sounds extreme or over the top, but there is a reason for it. It's not that you hate them or you dumped me and now you're dead to me. It's that you need space and distance in order to recover. And you can't do that when it feels like they're a constant presence in your life, even if that presence is strictly virtual. Plus, it eliminates the chances of your drunk texting your ex and embarrassing the shit out of yourself. Now, I realize it's not always possible to completely box them out of your life. Sometimes you work together or you run in the same circles. But at the same time, it is not immature or unreasonable to not want to see them or to prefer to avoid them for a while. Hurting yourself over and over again in the name of being an adult or being mature is neither productive nor useful. So go nuclear. Box up all the keepsakes. Put the photos on a memory stick and get them out of easy reach. The more steps that you have to go through in order to check in on them or to look at the mementos of your past, the easier it will be to resist the temptation. The more separation that you have in the wake of your breakup, the easier and faster that you'll recover. And incidentally, getting back with your ex is a topic all of its own. If you're interested in hearing more about that, hit up the comments, let me know, and we can talk about it in a future episode. Step number 5, get over your ex by getting under someone else. This step is, in its way, possibly the most important, because at the end of the day, this is about why it can seem like you just can't get over that breakup and why it still hurts after all this time. It's not just that sense of being rejected or that loss, it's because you have lost something critical in your life and you haven't replaced it. Not the love or the companionship that you had, but the way that love affects you. The thing that people often get wrong about love is that it's not strictly emotional, it's chemical. Love is as much a chemical reaction as it is a feeling. It's the generation of oxytocin in the brain. When we're with our partner, we are continually generating oxytocin through sex, through touch, through laughter. When we break up, that source of oxytocin disappears, and often we don't have other sources to replace it. Breakups hurt as badly as they do because you are literally in withdrawal. You are an addict who has been cut off by your dealer. And the way that you fix that is to find new sources of oxytocin. That's why it may be crude and it may be cliche, but get over her by getting under someone else works. Sex is one of the most reliable ways of generating oxytocin, and it reminds you that you do, in fact, have options even when it feels like you don't. There are other people out there that will want you and that you will want. It is a physical reminder that you are still desirable, that you can still feel good, and you will find love again. Now, I know that some of you are saying, Doc, you don't understand. I struggled to find someone in the first place. It's not like I can just turn around and sleep with someone else. And I get that. It can be hard to find someone after a breakup, even for a casual hookup. But there are other ways of getting your oxytocin fix. We generate oxytocin through touch. So getting massages or taking dance classes can help bridge that gap. Cuddle your pets. Spend time with the people that you are physically close to. We generate oxytocin through laughter. So get together with your friends to have fun. Go to comedy clubs, watch funny movies and TV shows. We generate oxytocin through good conversation. So make a point of spending quality time with your friends and your family. Surround yourself with the people who love you and care for you and remind you that you're an amazing person. And yes, you should go out and date again. You don't have to be looking for a love that lasts the ages. Sometimes you just want company, and that's okay. By following these practices, you will heal from that breakup faster than you believed possible. And as you heal, you'll understand this isn't the end. All that's happened is the latest chapter of your life has come to its conclusion. Now it's time to start writing the next one. And one more thing. If you want to learn how to develop the skills to transform your dating life and find that special someone when you're ready, then you will want to sign up to be part of the beta test for the Dating Accelerator program, an 8-week seminar where I will be teaching you and a limited number of students how to transform your dating life and help you build the social success that you've always dreamed of. I only have a few spots left, and we are in the final days where members of the NerdLove Academy group get the first opportunity to reserve their spot before anyone else. And the price will go up after the beta test concludes, so if you want in, now's the time. So if you're ready to take your love life to the next level, be sure to join the NerdLove Academy Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Dr. NerdLove for more information. So, that's going to do it for this episode. You've heard from me, and now I want to hear from you. What has helped you heal from a broken heart? Share your story in the comments below. And don't forget, I am answering some of your dating questions in my new Ask Dr. NerdLove series of videos. So if you've got a short dating question that you'd like to have answered on here, hit me up, share it in the comments as well. Maybe the question that I will be answering next time will be yours. Meanwhile, if you want to work on practicing those social skills, learn how to talk to strangers, and turn people you've just met into friends and lovers, then check out my book, New Game Plus, The Geek's Guide to Love, Sex, and Dating. This is the instruction manual you have always wanted, the A to Z guide for learning how to develop and unleash your inner sexy badass and find the relationship you have always wanted, whether it is a relationship to last a lifetime or just that evening. Links to buy it are in the show notes, so go check it out. And if you do check it out, or any of my other books for that matter, please be sure to rate and review it on Amazon and Goodreads. It is a huge, huge help. If you're digging the series, then you already know what to do. Hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, yada yada, ring the bell, you know how this works. If you are really enjoying these videos, if you feel like you are getting a lot out of it, you're finding that they're really helping, and you want to help support the channel and in the process, help fund some amazing new projects, then consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Dr. NerdLove. Even $1 is a huge help. It helps cover hosting and equipment costs, and it's like I always say, I can't do this without the help and support of my patrons, so whether you have just joined me or you've been a patron from the beginning, thank you so very much. Meanwhile, follow me on Twitter at @DrNerdLove. Join the private Facebook group NerdLove Academy at facebook.com/groups/DrNerdLove. And as always, hit that logo to subscribe, check out my other videos, and I will see you here next time with more about love, sex, and dating. Thanks for watching.